Hello, welcome, Pittsburgh, city of Gothic horror, where between these three rivers flow rivers of blood. They'll put French fries on your sandwich at Pt.20, brothers, or blood in your vodka at Elysium. Welcome. You are watching a special Gen Con edition of Vampires of Pittsburgh. I am your storyteller and host, Jared Logan. I am so happy you have joined us here tonight. This is going to be incredible. This is our 20th episode of our ongoing Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition stream. And what a journey it has been. We're going to get all of our new viewers up to speed. And we are going to really put a climax on 20 episodes full of dark, brooding, gothic horror, and tragic mystery. Let's get started. First of all, I just want to say thanks to Gen Con for having us and for making us part of their event. I've gone to Gen Con a couple times, and it's really exciting to be able to bring our cast here to share our game with you guys tonight. Let's bring in your players. This guy, he can be seen on Netflix right now in a series of improv specials called Middleditch and Schwartz. You might know him from Silicon Valley. He plays the crusty old dock worker vampire, a bruja named Miles Vanderbuck. Please welcome Thomas Middleditch, everybody. Oh, hey, pal. How's it going?
Don't mind me, just settling my heartburn with Gavison. Actually,
hey, man, we didn't arrange with Gen Con that we can do ads, dude.
Okay. Yeah, never mind.
Great. Oh! It looks like Thomas,
have
you probably shouldn't have taken that many anyway. That felt like a lot that came out of your mouth.
I feel bad for taking the money.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Hey, look, what do you think's happening with Miles Vanderbuck? Last we saw him, he went into torpor. What are you thinking right now?
No idea.
Yeah.
We
haven't told you anything, correct? If you followed the stream, some stuff has happened while you've been in torpor.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened last session with the Gen Con friends. I don't know what Miles is going to be all about, where he wants to take his own journey personally.
Mm-hmm.
If he's going to side with Miss Prince or side with his friends. It sounds like he's a character torn betwixt two worlds, much like your heartburn could be if you had...
No!
Damn it. I'm going to have to give it back, man.
You're going to keep making it pop in, I know, but I'm going to go ahead and introduce our next player. This guy is a talented actor and improviser who can be seen performing with the Improvised Shakespeare Company. He's also been all over TV on shows like The Good Place, and he is the greatest natural role player you'll ever meet with an incredible occult library. Please welcome Ross Bryant, everybody.
Oh, I'm sorry you caught me. Just reading one of my many tomes.
Yes, Satanism and witchcraft. Any gems in there?
That was just by the eccentric 19th century French man of letters, Jules Michelet. Just currently knocking out the chapter "King of the Dead."
Wow.
Something that it seems that our players may be aspiring to. It's enough to give someone heartburn.
No, guys, come on. Come on.
One chalky tablet.
King of the Dead. Wow, so you kind of like reading a strategy guide for the Vampires of Pittsburgh game.
Yeah. Although, man, we've gotten ourselves in a real predicament. I can only hope that the little coterie of vampires I sent off on a tough mission a couple days ago emerged with a great and resounding success.
That is a really good point. So Ross, your character's name is Curtis. He is a war vet from Afghanistan. He came back with maybe some addiction problems that he managed to kick. And then the next thing he knew, he was embraced and turned into a vampire. And in our Gen Con games most recently, a lot has happened, but you sent some Gen Con players on a mission, and we will find out tonight. Your character will find out tonight how they did. Maybe
that's all I know. I don't know. So
yeah. What are you thinking about where? Well, I don't want you know what? I don't want you to say anything about where Curtis is tonight because I want it to be a surprise to Thomas and Miles when he finds out what's going on. So let's just bring in our third player. You can see her most recently on the Apple Plus show Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet. You can hear her in The Last of Us 2. And man, she's just a fantastic actress and performer, and plays Jen Brown, the Thin Blood tech CEO, who sometimes is ambivalent about her vampire condition. I think she's kind of torn between being a good person and being a predator that drains people of their life force every night to sustain her own unholy existence. Please welcome the lovely Ashley Birch, everybody.
Hey. Oh, wait, there it is. Aha.
Thank you. See, Thomas, if you want to put something into the stream, make sure it's an official catchphrase. Since we're
here, I was wanting to just maybe pimp a little bit of Carmex. I got a little bit of a payment from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's cool when you do it. I'm fine with that. Ashley, Jen Brown. She always mixes blood with her vodka so that she can use her alchemy powers or her various disciplines.
Yes.
Is her stomach upset tonight? Are you worried about what's going to happen next in the Chronicle?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm terrified. I have no idea what's going to happen.
What are you most worried about?
That Curtis and I made a gamble that's not going to pay off.
Yeah, you guys made a gigantic gamble while our friend Thomas Middleditch, a.k.a. Miles Vanderbuck, was off in torpor. Why don't I give a brief recap of the entire Chronicle to the people who are joining us tonight, a very brief one, and then we will launch into tonight's climactic conclusion to 20 sessions worth of gaming. Your recap is this. These three people were embraced one night, sort of against their will, sort of as a surprise. They didn't know quite what they were getting into. They didn't know about vampiric existence. Miles Vanderbuck, the crusty old dock worker who just walked off of the screen for a second, and Union Man. That was important to the Anarchs who embraced you. Curtis Krieger, the veteran of foreign wars, who had kind of been speaking out a lot in his veterans support group about how the government isn't helping them enough. He had some revolutionary ideas. The Anarchs that embraced him noticed that. And Jen Brown, who was the tech CEO of a very innovative new app company called Grouper, and who herself had a lot of revolutionary ideas because her app was used often by protesters and people that wanted to communicate in those types of movements. All three were embraced against their will as a surprise one night, and right after they were embraced, right after they roused themselves and awakened to their vampiric condition, their sires were brutally destroyed in front of their eyes, and they were whisked off to Elysium, where they met the Camarilla leadership, who were kind of deciding whether to keep them around or destroy them. Long story short, through a series of rolling dice and saying things, they managed to stop themselves from getting destroyed as fledgling, illegal fledgling vampires. And they were sort of adopted by certain vampires among the Camarilla leadership. Jen Brown was adopted by the primogen of the Nosferatu clan, creepy looking old woman kindred of Polish origin named Miss Sonia, who makes her haven in Polish Hill. Curtis Krieger was sort of adopted by the sheriff of Pittsburgh, one of the last gangrel in the Camarilla, a man named Churchill Jackson, who is a vampire of principles who believes strongly in following the traditions. And Miles Vanderbuck was, strangely enough, adopted by the Prince of Pittsburgh, the new Prince of Pittsburgh, Adelaide Ross, a Malkavian with megalomaniac tendencies. She's perfect. Her smile's perfect.
Miss Prince.
Let's cut to the chase. After a while, they got tired of some of the missions they were sent on. The missions were brutal. They really took a toll on our three vampires. Learning about their new undead existence, but also going on these missions really took a toll on them. Through the course of this, Miles became blood bonded to the prince, whereas the other two became really, really questioning of Camarilla leadership. Finally, they were sent on an investigation to find out about the Anarchs that had been sort of infiltrating the city. Possibly the Anarchs who had originally embraced them, like that entire group. And when they did that, they came upon a very strange and dangerous Anarch plot. The Anarchs had been inviting Anarchs from all the other cities to come and join them, and they had stolen an artifact that turns bagged blood, animal blood, any blood you put into it, into kindred vitae. It is an ancient artifact. It has strange writing on it, and the Anarchs were using this to kind of invite kindred in, kindred who maybe didn't like to hunt, but also kindred who wanted a taste of real vitae, maybe, Diablerists in the offing. A whole rabble of Anarch kindred had joined this movement so they could drink from this cup. And in addition to that, the Anarchs had recruited a very elder vampire named Mary, who we still don't know a lot about her origin. We just know that she is very religious and sees the Anarch movement as a sort of an expression of her belief in Christ and in God. And now I'm going to really, really cut to the chase because this has been the longest recap ever. I'm going to say this, that in our last session, while Miles Vanderbuck was in torpor after trying to attack Mary, remember he was still loyal and blood bonded to the prince, Jen and Curtis managed to take over the movement, to take over the 40 kindred Anarch army from Erasmus, its leader.
We led a coup.
They led a coup.
Just
they
like
are now leading the Anarchs.
Like a gentle
You tried to stop me from getting him, and then you tried to stop me from getting him, and then you went ahead and took that shit over. Unbelievable.
They would have torn you apart.
Yes, and they also managed to rouse Miles Vanderbuck by using that magical artifact I mentioned, the urn. Mary poured the vitae out of the urn onto Miles's torpored body, and Miles rose once again, even though he had taken a bunch of automatic weapon fire in addition to some other horrible injuries from Mary's aggravated damaging claws. And so I'm going to set the scene. You are at the Anarch sort of camp in Carry Blast Furnaces. Carry Blast Furnaces is a real location in Pittsburgh, an abandoned industrial site with huge blast furnaces. And you, Miles Vanderbuck, have just kind of finally awakened. You're like in like fetal position. You're covered in blood, like from head to toe, like you're completely red. The vampire you attacked in the last session that you were conscious for, Mary, sits over you. And Mary, if we recall, is made of like completely black, like almost obsidian or marble type skin. She looks like a living statue. She's a very old vampire. She sits over you, looking down at you, Indian style. And perhaps your friends are here as well. Your coterie mates are here to welcome Miles back to the world of the unliving.
It seems that Thomas can't hear anything at the moment.
Oh, no.
I'll be right back.
Okay, Miles.
I can't hear anything. I'll be right back.
That's okay. Miles can't hear anything. I mean, this is the kind of thing that happens when you're awoken from torpor by a magical artifact. It takes time for the senses to come back. Mm-hmm. I can tell you guys that as I set the scene, you have already decided, oh, he's back. How are you?
Yeah, now I can hear everything. It's great.
Okay, great. And then when my stuff goes out, we'll just, you guys will vamp. Okay, so here's the deal. You're awakened. Your friends are standing over you along with this elder vampire that kind of clobbered you last time you were in the game, Mary. And you can hear far off, like outside of this large industrial building you're in, like many voices, like, yelling and a lot of action and activity outside of the building. It's very disorienting to suddenly wake up from you were dead and suddenly you are alive again and covered with blood.
All right. Maybe thinking, well, you guys are like next level. That maybe when we were brought into this little coven, that maybe you were already in it. You know what? Miles just looks at you guys. He doesn't say a damn thing.
A lot's happened since you've been out. We're kind of in charge of the Anarchs now. So, just try to stay calm. Things are happening quickly, but we did this to save you, okay? So just be calm for 5 minutes while we talk this through, please.
Yeah.
Can I roll to be calm?
You can. You would roll your willpower.
I want to roll my blood bonded desire to fight for Miss Prince at this point.
That's an interesting point, Miles, because when you kind of feel for that sort of feeling that you got, that the feeling of the presence of the prince near you, right?
Yeah.
You feel it for a second, and then suddenly you feel it sort of wink out. Her presence is gone. And I can tell you also that a lot of the feelings that Miles has been feeling over the past couple weeks, perhaps, I leave it to you, perhaps his incredible fervor for the Camarilla cause, suddenly it doesn't feel quite as urgent as it did before. But I'd still allow you to roll willpower if you'd like, because I want to mention to everybody that you do get a point of willpower back for just starting the session. Then I think that Curtis and Jen and Miles should all take just another point of willpower recovery. Miles for surviving, Miles for being alive again, Curtis and Jen for, basically taking control of your destiny. You're not sure if you can drive the car yet, but at least your hands are on the wheel. So take a point of willpower for that.
A car metaphor is really not encouraging.
No, not for this group. Not for this group.
Code well.
We crashed every single one, I believe.
Every single one.
Yes.
And I can barely drive any of them. Do you have willpower left, Thomas?
Well, now I've got 3.
Okay.
So I'd roll that plus anything, or just straight roll power? Because
I think just roll that.
Okie dokes. Coming at you. A Verfilm. 2 successes.
Very good. So I'm going to say with 2 successes, people can tell that you are reasonably a bit shaken, but you are in control of your faculties. You can say what you like and act the way you like. In terms of healing, the urn is a miracle worker. By pouring a bunch of vitae all over you, I'm going to rule that you get, let's see how I do here. Yeah, I just rolled a 10. All of your health levels are back. And maybe you'll need them tonight. Because you hear vehicles peeling out outside in this courtyard. You hear voices raised in a clamor.
Such shit going on. All right, with that and the feeling of Miss Prince gone or something winking out, he takes a big deep breath and just goes, "What the hell did you do?"
A lot of things have happened since you went out, but I need to know: are you back with us?
Because we're hitting them tonight.
There's no time to waste.
What are you talking about? Hitting who?
The Camarilla. It's happening tonight.
They've been pushing us around like pawns for too long. It's time we take control of our own lives.
Pushing around like pawns? We've been given a gift. Then maybe he doesn't feel that so diehard about that anymore. Well, they really only had us do a few tasks for
few weeks. It wasn't that long.
But all the tasks, they sent us into the mouth of a werewolf, sent us off to do missions with barely any intelligence, where any one of us could have been killed time and time again. And for that, we got a pat on the head. Good job, boy. Back out on the streets.
We were their puppets, Miles.
If somebody's going to be making a call from now on, it's going to be us.
Jesus Christ. But to
I
be
think
honest,
When he mentioned
speech
Jesus
like
Christ,
that-
I looked up at Mary. Like,
a speech like that is exactly the type of stuff that Miles Vanderbuck has fought for his whole life.
so what's the deal? We're going to march into the Camry and kill them all.
Well, things escalated kind of quickly. They wanted to kill you and then kill us, and so we took over.
Erasmus was going to flame you up, burn you to a fucking crisp.
So in a way, this is all for you.
Speaking
You're
of
welcome.
Erasmus, you hear him kind of shouting outside, and you hear suddenly the clamor outside takes on a new tenor. People are shouting at each other, they're screaming at each other. It sounds like there's some kind of conflict outside.
I'm gonna rush outside.
Can I ask a Ross question? The group that went off to do the mission heretofore spoken of.
Yes, our Gen Con group.
Has that already happened in our timeline?
It has already happened in this timeline,
Okay.
and in addition to that, a lot of the 40 or so kindred that were involved in this sort of Anarch army, this makeshift Anarch army, have headed out to basically start the revolution. I mean, they were aware of certain targets they wanted to go for, and you all have leadership here, but I mean, it's a group of Anarch that don't really follow the rules, that don't work together well. You'll have to work hard to eventually get them into a cohesive group if you'd like to, but some of them are gone now.
So what about your little daddy there, Jackson, and you, Jim Brown? The people
He's
that
not my
helped you.
fucking daddy. He's not my father. Okay?
What, they all gonna
Yeah.
They all gonna die? Is that the deal?
Look, something's going on outside. Look, you guys stay here. I'm gonna check out what's going on, and then I'm gonna run outside to see what's going on.
Great. What you see are a group of Anarch kindred, 8 or 9, and they are stringing Erasmus up against one of the buildings, and they are pulling a big stake out to kind of try to stake him to the side of the building for when, ostensibly for when the sun comes up. And they're actually arguing about it. They're like, you would know someone with potence needs to do it, because they're like, no, give it to me, like they, and he's like helpless, and he's like, help me, please help me. He has lost his earlier commanding air and has completely broken down. He's crying tears of blood as they string him up against the side of one of these buildings. So I asked Jen Brown, what would you like to do?
I'm going to make a beeline for them, and I'm going to go, hey, take him off the wall. You can stake him, and then you put him inside.
I thought you don't even know who this is. There were like 40 of these guys. And he's like, wait, Jen Brown. He knows your name, but you don't know his. Jen Brown. I thought that we were getting rid of this guy. I thought this guy was trying to treat us like those cam bitches.
He was, and he's not in power anymore. You want to fry him up? What is that going to give us? He has information. He could be useful. We can stake him, and he'll be neutralized. You kill him, we're walking down the same path as them. So stake him and put him inside.
A Nosferatu nearby is like, this is not how you run a revolution. He's not committed to the cause. He doesn't love Mary and love God like us, Jen Brown. He doesn't understand the true meaning of the movement. I believe Jen Brown is going to need to make some sort of roll.
Sure.
And this is her first attempt to lead, isn't it?
Ish.
She got them on her side in our last session. Now she's got to start making judgment calls. So her call here is that they're to stake Erasmus and put him back inside the building. where he'll be safe from the sun. And to make them do that, what role would you like to make, Jen Brown? I have an idea of what I think it should be. I think it should be leadership plus resolve, because it seems like Jen Brown is resolved not to let this movement become, I'm going to say bloodthirsty. So what do you think?
I might, I'm sort of wondering if I could do persuasion because I have one more pip, and because I would like to sort of come at it from, maybe try to change tack and come at it more diplomatically and sort of say, like, to this Nosferatu, the angels inside of us, we are made angels by our morality, by our humility, and by our ability to make judgments that our enemies will not make. This man does not follow the cause. You're right, but he can serve it. He does not serve it dead. And your mercy will be rewarded.
Jen Brown, that was very well said. Why don't you go ahead and make that persuade plus resolve roll, and you can add a pip to that.
It's persuade plus resolve?
Yes, please. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And what is your dice pool?
6.
Oh, that's a good one.
5 successes.
Whoa.
How uncharacteristically good.
I know.
They pull him down. They pull him down. Some of them kind of like feel like kind of cowed by you. They feel kind of ashamed. The Nosferatu woman who said that to you is like, I know we have chosen right with you, Jen Brown. You understand Mary's lesson. And they pull him down, and as they're pulling Erasmus down, he looks at you and he's like, thanks. I didn't expect you to help me.
Can I take this stake and just stake him?
Well, with their help, yes.
Okay.
Do you want to try to do it with your own strength?
Will they back me up if I just go for it?
Oh, they definitely will back you up.
Okay, I'm just going to go for it, and I don't want him to talk unless...
Yeah, okay, he goes, thanks, I guess, yeah. And then you and all those guys go, Gah! And drive it in. And he's like frozen like that. And they start dragging him into the building. And when they drag him in, they see that Miles Vanderbuck is standing. And it's actually Cross who walks up. Cross is a Anarch vampire you've only recently just met, but he's a dangerous character. He's got an enormous black cross tattoo across his face. He tends to carry a huge desert eagle around. And it just feels like this guy was living hard before he became a creature of the night. And when he sees Vanderbuck standing, he's like, how do we know that we can trust him? He tried to hurt Mary before.
Miles has seen the light, okay? His mind was not his own when the prince worked through him to those ends. But right now, he's one of us.
And he's an asset. We're hitting this now. We need everyone's help, and he has a direct line to the prince, or did, I hope.
I appreciate that. But I think I'd like to hear it from him.
Miles?
Well, it's not every day you wake up and you're in the middle of a revolution. But I can tell you that at one point I had a pretty foggy perception of what was going on around me. And now I see as clear as day. So, the only 2 people I trust in the world right now happen to be these 2. And they say that we're with you, so I'm with you too.
You know what? I'm not even going to make you roll for that. That was... He's convinced. Cross is... You want to roll?
Oh, I thought you said... No. I thought you said... Okay. I thought you said, I am going to make you roll for that. But
No.
Yeah.
I think that's well said. And he's like... You can see him kind of like look at you, Curtis and Jen, like, okay, that'll work for now. And that is when Mary rises behind Miles and moves up behind him. And Miles, she grabs your wrist and she raises your hand into the air and goes, "He has been redeemed."
Miles is going with it. See, this is crazy. I'm looking at Jen Brown and Curtis like, what? Oh, God.
And I think we're kind of looking back the same way, like,
Just go along with it.
Let's hope that you guys can keep. Let's hope that you guys can keep this this on the rails here, because it's already bucking a little bit.
Great.
So let's end that scene there, and let's do a little bit of business in terms of how you want to run your revolution tonight. You've already sent, and Miles might be upset about this when he learns. We can kind of talk about it abstractedly for a moment, and then if we think we need to set a scene, we will. But you sent a team to U.S. Steel Building already, where Elysium is located, to kind of drag Adelaide Ross out of there, the Prince of Pittsburgh. And you don't know how they've done yet because they just left a little while ago. I can tell you that one of the Anarchs keeps a police scanner, and he's telling you that a lot of fires are being set in Pittsburgh tonight, and that the police and emergency services are already being really overworked, and it's not even that late. They think a lot of these fires were started by a biker gang called the Iron Horsemen. So that's just something one of the Gen Con players did, and that's happening.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So now
Keep them off balance.
Yeah, keep the cops out of our way. So Curtis Krieger, Jen Brown, and Miles Vanderbuck, you now have to figure out how to get yourselves at least in a safe position tonight where you can continue to, have your freedom night to night and kind of lead this group you're in charge of now. So tell me what your plan is.
Well, last time we sort of mused about the idea of going after Jackson first. Does that still seem like the right move?
That's what I'd like to do. I mean, we sent this team off to Elysium, even if
he ain't his daddy anymore.
Wow.
I know.
So, even if they're not successful, and I hope they are, but it'll throw everything off balance and bottle things up over there for the evening. Jackson's our biggest threat because he holds so much power and sway as a warrior and a controller of the ranks of the Camarilla vampires in the city. If we cut off that head, then his minions are scattered to the winds and we can begin to pick them off.
So you feel like just send Marion? Because otherwise I don't know that we would be able to stand a chance.
I don't know if I can command Mary to do anything, but
well, we could talk to her.
Barring her involvement, then we just got to try to take him out.
Well, I just want to put this out there as your storyteller that you could decide to send your big elder vampire WMD against one of your enemies and tell her to bring him back. And then you guys could kind of take on another one. Or as we often do on this show, you could even split up to take on different tasks, right? It's up to you. It really is up to you. I know the players don't mind if they hop out for a second while someone else handles an encounter. So, but maybe safety in numbers, or maybe you want to send some of the Anarch rabble to go do some things for you, like you have previously done. Let me know what you think.
Well, what day is it, by the way? It's not Friday Night Blood Rave Elysium Day, is it?
It is not Friday Night Blood Rave Elysium Day. No, okay. It is it's like a Tuesday night.
Okay. So that group is going after Adelaide. And they've left just recently, right?
Yeah, not too long ago. Maybe
so they're going to be aware. Probably Jackson's going to be aware there's an attack happening at Elysium. He's probably going to be at Elysium.
Once he hears it, he'll send people there or he'll go there himself. If they haven't landed yet, if we can cut him off en route or do something at his haven before he gets the call, that'd be my time to strike. If we could flame up his car as he gets over there.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
Brutal. Miles, what are you thinking? Look at the changes in Jen Brown and Curtis Krieger.
I know. Where are you guys? A couple of sessions ago. I think Miles is kind of like he's kind of just coming out of this weird fog that he had with Adelaide, and is remembering all the bad things he thought about her, because he was also ready to fight her at times, and now the positive thing is gone. So he's just like, but is total destruction of Elysium worth it?
I just want to say, guys, we do this. I mean, not that the ball's not already in motion, but we do this. We're going to be. It's an all-out war.
Yeah.
If we fail, we'll be on the lam forever, for eternity.
It's worth it to me to not be anyone's slave anymore. Is it worth it to you, Miles?
Yeah, I guess. If we're aiming to kill the snake, don't we just cut off the head?
Since
Well-
we can't release.
You could
I mean-
investigate what's going on with Adelaide. You
Yeah.
could kind of go in. You could go look into that. You guys could try to catch Churchill unawares. That was the other idea you had. Maybe by going to his haven, or maybe by trying to cut him off en route to Elysium or something like that.
What about those? What about the two people who literally first got us into this thing, like the first session?
Oh, Bex
There's,
and
like,
Nixon?
Jack-
Bex and Nixon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are they
Bex is
alive?
still
And
around.
Nixon's been dealt with apparently by Mary,
Okay.
which we learned last time.
Okay, great.
Also, our first night together, we killed a prince pretty casually, and they just brought in a new one. So
Alright.
I wonder if I mean, part of me really likes the idea of trying to hit a bunch of places at once, but I sort of feel like our numbers aren't enough. I feel like we'd be spread too thin. So I sort of wonder
I mean,
if
you could
Let me try to find the prince. I know you probably don't trust me, but and to be honest, I'm not sure if I can trust myself. But
you want to try to get into Elysium and get to the prince.
if she's there, she might not be.
Can I
what-
I do a perception on Miles to see if I
Yeah,
mean
you
I
certainly may.
don't know if Jen
Yeah.
would trust him.
Give me a wits
Um,
plus insight roll. And
would I know anything about that, like, penthouse office thing? Like, I'd spent so much time there. Would I have clocked, like, oh, it's a secret door,
Fuck.
or anything?
Absolutely, you would. So how'd you do, Jen Brown?
Back to my old tricks. Total failure.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't recommend using willpower on this one, because it
Yeah.
seems like more of a character interaction. So what I will say is, Jen Brown still doesn't totally trust that Miles has recovered from his blood bond. She's still really suspicious that he might be playing some sort of double agent game or something. But I must say, now is the time for us to decide. Now is the time to act. If you guys want to have an advantage from moving quickly tonight,
That is
you
what
must
I want.
decide
You gotta
now
get in
where
now.
you are going. So right now it sounds like Miles would like to go and look into if the prince has been kind of destroyed or captured by that strike team that's been sent after them. And Curtis and Jen, who are you going to take on? One of the Primogen, Churchill Jackson?
I think so, right?
That is what I'd like to do. Yeah.
Can I have an aside with Curtis briefly?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can trust him. Do you want to send him straight to Adelaide?
I don't want to send him there on his own. I don't want to send him there on his own, even if I did trust him, which, I mean, he just comes out of it. I'd rather
How many
keep an eye
people
on
do
him.
we have to spare? We could send him with a team, but if he's faking this, if he's playing us again, he has everything. He knows everything.
Yeah, he'll lead him right back here. I mean, if she can see into his mind, and they already know we're here.
I guess we could give him a chance to redeem himself then.
Mary is standing near you.
Okay. Yes.
Hi.
She was just kind of listening to you. And she goes, "You must have faith. He has been redeemed."
I turn to Jen. I'm like, I trust that.
Yeah, okay.
But I still don't know if I want to send him in there alone.
Do you want to send him with Mary? Or do you want to take her to hit Churchill? I don't know that we have enough people to take Churchill without her.
Yeah. Then I don't know if I can control. I obviously can't control the situation once we're there. She's there. But, well, let's see if we can all hit him together. I'll see if I can convince Miles to come along with us.
Okay. Storyteller, how many Anarchs do we have at our disposal?
Right now, you have 30.
Okay.
You started with 40, plus the leadership, Mary and Erasmus. 6 have gone off, and 4 more have gone off to kind of handle the revolution the way they see fit. So you could take
30 people to hit Churchill?
You could if you'd like. You really could. And
I mean,
Jen Brown, I'm not even going to make you roll intelligence to realize that you also have something that kind of helps you with the tactics of this night. You have a thumb drive that you stole from the prince's office that contains, sort of everybody's haven, biographical details on them before they were embraced, things like that, stuff that allows you to kind of, exploit them a little bit. So let me know if you're using that. I know that you bring your tech with you most places that you go. I think it's safe to say you've brought some sort of device that you could plug the thumb drive into.
Yeah, for some reason I assumed we knew what Churchill's Haven was, but maybe we don't, right?
We've been there.
We've been there.
Oh, yeah, you've been to Lonergan's Lonergan's Irish pub in Shadyside. Yes, that's where he's met you every time.
Okay, well, I'll start looking while Miles and Curtis talk. I will look through the thumb drive and start collating anything I possibly can on Churchill.
Okay,
as fast as I can.
And can I suggest that we maybe use some of that information to? We got a bunch of fast-moving bikers here. Could we task maybe just a small strike team to go and do some targeted firebombing on havens?
Sure.
Wow. Okay.
I'm ready to run an insurgency.
In general, the Anarchs, I love it.
I love it too.
Violence gives Curtis clarity.
Curtis, you can. Since it's an insurgency, I'm not going to make you roll leadership. Give me a intelligence plus streetwise roll. Streetwise is allowing you to really kind of connect to these anarchs who all have a bit of streetwise themselves, and also kind of tell them what targets to hit. You happen to know that there's like a pub in the South Slopes where Roman's coterie makes their home, and you know that the several nightclubs in Pittsburgh are the domain of the Blood Dance, which is Laura's coterie. So you could send these bikers to go and hit those places.
Great. I got 4 successes.
Nice.
Great. They go, and they all peel out.
Guitar wolf steps.
Yeah, making dirt fly up. So that's what you've said.
Can you be doing donuts kind of around me, like creating a whirlwind?
Yeah, you're going,
just like, fly.
Actually, the last one to peel out, he kind of smiles at you, and you see that long canine as he drives out onto the road. Okay, they're off in search of some of the lesser coteries you're aware of. Yes, Miles.
Let me know if there's a moment to sneak out.
Oh, damn. Miles, of course there is. Curtis is leading an insurgency, and Jen Brown is on her computer as usual. So the moment is now, my friend. Here's what I'll let you do. Give me a dexterity plus stealth. You only need 1 success.
Can I get stamina plus stealth?
You
can I use stamina plus stealth, or no? You want is dex?
It's gonna be dex.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
Interesting
move, Miles.
And another chapter of Vampires of Pittsburgh descends into PvP.
1 success.
That's all you needed. Miles Vanderbuck, you are in the wind.
Great. If there's a motorcycle or a car or anything that I can
Oh my
take.
god. I want you to go back and watch the other streams someday and see how hard we fought to keep you alive.
Yeah. We'll see.
Auberger's car, Mason Auberger, the Malkavian Primogen, his car is still there. They've brought it from where you guys were using it. And
say goodbye to another car.
Miles, you are in the wind, and I'm going to come back to Miles. I don't even want to know what his plan is yet. I want to talk to Jen and Curtis. Jen, you find out from your thumb drive that although Lonergan's is where Churchill takes meetings, it is not his haven. Yeah, his haven is a cemetery a 5-minute walk away called Miners Field.
5-minute walk away from where we are?
No, from Lonergan's pub.
Oh, I'm sorry, from Lonergan's. Okay. Okay, I'll relay that to Curtis.
Okay.
Okay, it seems like we need to move on him.
Let's do
now.
it. And I go to Mary, and I sort of every time I approach, I feel like I need to kind of genuflect, and I do so. I'm like, it's kind of like get down on knee, like, if we're going to cut off the heads of this Hydra, we need to take out the most powerful first. We're going to move against the sheriff of Pittsburgh. Will you come with us to fight with us alongside?
Mary looks deep into your eyes and says, I will come, but you will not need me if you have faith inside of you.
Very well. I'm starting to feel like I'm having faith in myself for the very first time in a long time.
She smiles, and it's like so fulfilled with knives. You know what I mean? And then she goes, I'll be in the van. Because Mary's used to being an elder vampire that rides around in the back of a van. Are you headed there now, or are you going, both of you?
I'd say let's do it. But I would legitimately ask Jen, like, is this something you want to get mixed up in face to face?
Yeah, I have to. I can't sit back here and wait for you guys to come back, risk your lives. No, I'm coming. But wait, can I notice now that Miles is gone?
Of course you can.
Curtis.
So yeah, get Miles to the van.
Where is Miles?
Well, he was with you.
I was looking up. I was using the flash drive.
I run out into the. I just cut off the conversation to run out into the area where all the bikes were. Take a scan around. Do I catch that Auberger's car is gone?
Yes, you can know that Auberger's car is gone.
God damn it!
He went to the prince.
If he's truly out, then he might be trying to settle the score on his own. Do you have a way to get him? No.
Look, we can't. We've tried to save him so many times. If he's going back to her, crawling on his knees, I'm fucking done. And if he's trying to redeem himself, then we have to give him the chance. But we got to move now.
Yeah.
We got to go get Churchill.
I'm with you. We can't. He's made his choice. Hopefully he'll come back here.
Let's go.
Let's
go. Off we go to the van.
Very good. You have an elder autarchus in the back of your van, and you drive off toward the Miners Field Cemetery.
Oh, and before we do that,
yes.
did we direct the Anarchs to come with us, the remaining Anarchs?
Would you like for them to?
Or do you want to send them somewhere else?
You certainly may bring them with you, or you may send them somewhere else.
I feel like I wouldn't mind having other. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
I feel like we don't need all 30 if we have Mary, maybe? Or...
The thing I'll say about the Anarchs, just that your characters would be aware of, is that although it is an asset, obviously, to have that number with you, it could in some ways be a hindrance to you. So as your storyteller, I may narrate both of those possibilities. I am not trying to discourage you. I think it would be smart to take 30 Anarchs with you if you're going to go take down the the sheriff of Pittsburgh. It's up to you.
Feels like we should either we could chance it with just Mary. I mean, she is sort of an army unto herself, but she also has been unpredictable in the past. It seems like, but 30 is a good number if we wanted to hit somewhere else.
Yeah.
Simultaneously.
There's one other primogen that's been very active in your unlives that you haven't mentioned yet.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
Yours
I
is
thinking about
desire.
that.
And I look at you and I'm like, there is one person whose haven we know of,
Yeah.
but you know who might be there.
Yeah.
Do you want to send these goons to take care of her?
War requires sacrifices. Is that the deal?
Or is this a choice that you'd rather not make? Hey, this is the way these things go. The leader doesn't have to know everything that gets done in their name. They just know that it gets dealt with. I can have a conversation on your behalf, and you don't ever have to know what happens.
If we take them out now, the two of them, it would turn the tide, wouldn't it?
It just might. Scatter them. Make them weaker and leaderless. With the information you got on your thumb drive, we could pick them off one by one after tonight.
Maybe I could go with them and try to get her out.
Is that what you want? Because you know it could swing the other way on you.
Send them.
I just nod and I walk off.
Very good. So we are sending a large force of Anarchs to the haven of Miss Sonia, the Nosferatu primogen. Great. I'm just going to make
can I say that when I go up to them, it's like give them all the information on the house in Polish Hills, that there's a family that lives there, that they may fight them off, that they know a lot. If you see a mortal fitting this description, and then I take a look at them and get a sense of like what their attributes are.
Well, it's interesting because, as I said, they are a rabble. So some of them look quite rough. But you earlier mentioned that you wanted to send some of the more warrior-like ones, off to light more fires, things like that. So I'm going to say that this group is probably 70% true believers, and by that I mean they are either religious zealots for Mary, or they are, political anarchs, right? Okay. They look it, and maybe only a few of them look like they are survival anarchs.
Okay, could I maybe go up to one of those more like pious true believer types, and just say like give a description of
Sabrina,
and give a description of Sabrina and say like, if when you hit this place, if this ghoul makes it back here in one piece, there is a chance that she may be redeemed.
And it's that Nosferatu woman from earlier, and she nods her head, and they head off into the night. Wow, we have delegated some authority. I'm going to find out what's happening to Miles Vanderbuck. Here we go. I'll be right back, guys. Right back. Let's find out what's going on with Miles. Hi.
Oh man, it's so dramatic.
Where are you going? What are you doing? What's Miles doing?
Driving to the. Well, I think it requires potentially some knowledge, maybe, that I might be fishing for as a player. And if it feels too far of a cast, to use the fishing metaphor, let me know. I wouldn't know, based on the conversations that I've had with Miss Prince, where she might be outside of Elysium, correct? I would know, like,
Actually, I
haunts.
will allow you to know this. You were blood bonded to this kindred for a while, this Cainite, and so I think that you know that her haven is, since becoming the prince, her haven is in the U.S. Steel Building. It is in those top floors. The very top floor is her office, but you think that the floors below it were her sort of personal quarters.
Okay, great. Well, that's where I wanted to be headed anyway. So I'm headed there. And as I'm driving, I'm trying to connect to that ethereal force that connected us to see if I
It's
can,
not
like,
there.
sense her.
It's
Okay.
100% not there. And I can tell you also that as you start to get closer to the USX Tower, the US Steel Building, the road is completely clogged with cars, even at this late hour. It's about 11:30 to midnight, and there is an enormous amount of sirens and kind of like going off ahead.
Okay. Okay. Well, if I can still weave in and out or take back alleys, because boy, I know this town.
You really know this town. I think that it's going to be abandoning your car, or it's going to take a while. Do you want to take that time, or do you want to abandon the car?
Well, I want to abandon the car, but before I do, I'd like to look in the trunk and see if there's anything useful that this fellow had. Because
Yeah.
I've learned my lesson that a stake in the heart doesn't kill a vampire in this game. It only stuns them.
Yes, Mason Auberger, the Malkavian Primogen who took over the Primogen position after Adelaide Ross was raised to prince. You knew him as he looked like a 40-something that has orgies. You know what I mean? Like kind of a
Yep.
popped collar baby boomer, or maybe a little younger than that. Anyway, you're looking for weapons. Vampires always keep weapons in their trunks. Miles
They gotta.
Vanderbuck, no one's more pretentious than Mason Auberger, and so the weapon that he kept in his trunk was a katana. Yes, I'm playing a game of Vampire the Masquerade where I just gave one of my players a katana.
God, cue the Blade Rave theme song.
That's right.
Okay, yeah, great. That's perfect. Pulls it out. The shot when he closes the trunk, he just pulls up his katana.
I imagine the siren lights, you know what I mean? The neon of the city just kind of like gleaming off of it. And people are actually really busy. They're not really noticing that there's a man here in the darkened night running down the street with a katana.
That's what I'm doing. I'm running, just running full tilt to the thing. But I don't want to go. When I get there, I'm not aiming to go in the front door. I mean, I have a feeling I'm gonna see stuff that will clue me into not going into the front door.
Yeah.
When I get there.
You are going to see something. What you're going to see is as you approach the U.S. Steel Building and you are kind of coming around the side to its garage entrance, you see that the entire thing has been cordoned off with police tape. And you see like SWAT team with like their helmets off, like talking to people back behind the tape. And you also see that they've stationed, boys in blue like along that like perimeter to like keep people out, and if you get too close with the katana, I am going to make rolls start to happen, so let me know how you're approaching.
No, if I just see that, oh god, Curtis, Jen, what have you done? What do I know about the building in that? Are there any other entrances?
There's the lobby entrance, which is also kind of cordoned off. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of emergency personnel here. Something big happened.
Definitely. But I don't have any type of mind control or flying abilities or anything. I'm an old guy with a katana. So
you know what you are, though?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to tell you what to do. All I'll say is that there are a lot of people here. So maybe you could find out what happened. I think that's fair to say. You don't have to. You could take some other sort of action.
That that TJ cat, he was like that. He was like a servant because he was just a normal human that drank vampire blood.
You're talking about, the NPC TJ Cope, who was a detective with the Pittsburgh PD, and he was a ghoul. Yeah, that's right. So he,
okay.
He was a
How does one
retainer.
make a ghoul?
You just feed them your vitae. You just feed them your blood. When a mortal partakes of kindred vitae, they become functionally immortal as long as they keep drinking it. They gain a very small amount of that kindred's potential power.
All right. Is there like a trash can or anything that I can stow this katana in for the moment?
Sure. I mean, I just gave you the katana. I'm not going to then take it away. You stow it in like a trash can, and you reach down and you see you can easily get it. You come back.
Great. Well, I'd like to saunter up to one of the officers there.
Okay.
And put on a sort of a pitiable show if need be. I'm coming in with that kind of swagger.
And say, hi.
Right.
Geez, what happened here?
The blue and red lights are flashing across his face and yours. So perhaps he doesn't notice that you haven't gotten pink. Hashtag get pink, everybody. The catchphrase of Vampires of Pittsburgh. Our characters often forget to use the blush of life, and right now I'm going to see if this cop notices that a walking corpse is talking to him. I'm not going to make it super easy for him to notice because there is a lot of weird light going on here, and we haven't established that Miles has shake in his hand or anything. I got good news, Miles. I gave him 3 dice. Guess how many successes I got for him?
Hopefully 0.
0 successes. So you better use that rouse roll to give yourself the blush of life.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I forget how you do it. Just roll one of the
just
things.
Roll 1, and if you get a 6 or higher, you don't get hungrier, but you that is you rousing your blood, activating your blood to look alive for a moment.
Great. I have a success on that. Roll 10.
You actually do it while you're talking to him.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, buddy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shit. Anyway, what happened here? Oh boy.
Sir, I'm gonna need to ask you to step back, please.
I understand that. You gotta understand. From my perspective, I was a steel worker my whole life. I worked down at the docks. I never seen a building like this.
Yeah, some bad stuff went on inside tonight, sir. Some pretty bad stuff. So,
well, does it have anything to do with that body I found back there?
And I point to the alley where I stowed the katana.
Body, sir?
Yeah, I'll show you. I mean, I don't know what happened here, so.
I'm going to have to call this in.
Wait. He might not be dead. It's just, it could be some homeless cat, you know how they get a little sleepy.
Give me your manipulation plus subterfuge and add your die for pitiable, your specialty.
Oh boy. Okay, what'd you say? Manipulation, subterfuge. Okay,
plus subterfuge and add a die for pitiable, your specialty. Miles acts like he's a confused old man, and people believe that act until he sinks his fangs into them.
Well, I got 2 successes on that.
That's enough. He thinks you're weird, but thinking someone's weird is a great reason to pity them. So he starts walking toward the alleyway, and he says to you, "I hope it's not a body. Saw him pull enough bodies out of that building tonight."
Oh, jeez. Well, what type of bodies? I mean,
people went in there. We think maybe terrorists. Got to the top floors. I think they killed one of the executives that works in there. They found her body with them when they were trying to escape out of the parking garage. He starts moving into the alleyway. He's like, "Hello, sir? Anyone here currently experiencing homelessness?"
I'd like to jump him.
You know what? chomp him you may. He's not really paying very close attention, and you kind of got him talking, and you got him into the alleyway. So
chomp him just a bit. I only have a slight slurp from him because I'd like to put him in that that daze that you get after post slurp days.
Yeah, so you're gonna take like as much as you can before taking more would start to like kill him or potentially put him into a coma. So you drink deep.
Yeah.
Miles. And you know the lights flash outside the alleyway, but here in the darkness, you have this is like the third cop that you've fed from, and so you get you get an extremely like Miles,
I'm just defunding the police.
Right, exactly. Miles, you get an extreme like sort of aggression in the taste of the blood. You know what I mean? Like there's this energy and this aggression and this confrontational kind of feeling that kind of fills your body. You weren't overly hungry. The urn brought you back from the brink, and so the guy slumps down into the alleyway asleep. I'm not going to make you roll I'm not going to make you roll to not kill him. You're getting better at this kind of stuff.
I just wanted I was trying not to put him to sleep is the thing. Because
okay. He's starting to nod off. So what are you going to do with him?
Yes. Then I'd like to prick myself and feed him my goo.
So, this cop you've just met, who was simply taking care of the cordon, basically the first complication you met in your quest to find out what happened to the prince, you've decided to ghoul.
Yeah.
The man starts to drink from your wrist. I'm going to go back to our other players.
Oh boy!
Things seem to be going swimmingly over there.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Wow. Things are as usual going nuts over in the Miles Vanderbuck plot. All right. You guys are at this place called Miners Field Cemetery, and you immediately realize that in the real world, Miners Field Cemetery has been the focus of a charitable act that cleaned it up. But in the world of darkness, the world of our game, it is as it was several years ago, completely overgrown. This is an old Lutheran church's cemetery where they lost their funding and their tithing, and the church, I think, went under. And the graves here were completely covered with high grass. And so as you enter this place, you see just the tops of obelisks and the edges of graves peeking out from the high foliage and the deep weeds. And so let me know how you'd like to approach. Mary is with you.
Okay, so this is the haven where he sleeps.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything in the flash drive more specific than his haven is here? Did it identify a particular sepulcher?
It did not. It did not. And so if people would like to make a quick search, is that what you would like to do?
Before that, I think I'd like to circle the place a bit, because we do know what his car looks like. We know it's like a 70s whale got me a Chrysler as big as a whale. Exactly. It's and it's about to set sail. So
you find it easily. It is parked as you've seen it before in the parking lot of Lonergan's Irish Pub.
Okay, so we can assume that he may be within. Actually, you said that feral whispers can or bond. There's something like two-way communication.
That's right. With your feral whispers, you could kind of talk to animals in the area. Yes, you may.
Well, I also want to. Hopefully, this isn't too much flashback. Ruby's with us. Ruby's never not with me, unless
of course.
So.
Yeah. No, I assume that you're familous. You're bonded familous.
My bonded familous. My wonderful and loyal rusty red pit bull Ruby.
Yes.
I want to send her, sort of, as surreptitiously and stealthily as I can, close to just around not in, but just around, to see if with her just regular dog sense, she could maybe snuff the presence of Jackson.
An excellent and very smart solution to the problem of finding where Jackson might be, Curtis Krieger. I think that was very clever. The dog in the southeast corner of the cemetery suddenly perks up its head and looks over at you, and it's like, and in the light of the city, its kind of eyes kind of glow, and you hear it in your mind go, here, here, here. Here,
and I feel I feel just like the neural connection. I smell it too. For a second I experience the world smell first, like a dog does, and I'm just like,
you smell the smell of the kindred, and the kindred, they don't smell like dead bodies because their bodies are sort of frozen. How to describe the smell of a kindred to a gangrel? Oh gosh, it's like old leather, or like when you smell, this is the weirdest thing to say, when you smell a pair of shark skin boots. Anyway, that very unique and odd scent is there. Would you like to go where Ruby is?
Okay, so she's at the corner of the cemetery?
Yeah, she's in a very overgrown corner of the cemetery.
Okay, so I'd like to get her back, and can I kind of also take a clear look? Is it a?
There's a pair of graves, side by side in the corner where she was kind of whimpering.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like I should probably watch the pub for you in case.
The pub is sort of across the street from the cemetery. You certainly may keep an eye on it. The back parking lot is across the street.
If you keep an eye on it, yeah. Then I think so. This is in a cemetery. Is it walled in? Like,
not really. I mean, a lot of the walls have kind of crumbled, and it is so overgrown that they're covered in ivy and kudzu and every kind of weed. So it's easily entered. It's there's no gate or anything that's blocking you from entering.
Okay. Then if Jen is lookout and Mary is strike team,
Mary is standing beside you. Is she going to go with you?
I think I'll have her come with me.
Very good.
But I will indicate to her like our enemy, the sheriff, and I'll indicate the spot that Ruby pointed out. It's right there. And then I would like to take a position far away, or reasonably far away, like, I don't know, 30, 50 feet, and just set up a shot in that zone to cover her as she goes to smash in the coffin lid or whatever.
Mary, as we know, she moves in a strange way. She almost glides, and you see her kind of moving through the sea of grass with like this sort of like constant glide, and you can see off the back of her head and off of her claws like the glistening city lights as she kind of moves toward this grave. Jen Brown, who is on Overwatch, what is your wits plus awareness?
I'd love to tell you. It's a 5. It's 5 dice.
5 dice it is, and 5 dice I shall roll just to see if she notices anything. Okay. I'll let you know the result in a moment.
Oh boy.
Curtis, Mary approaches the grave and then looks back to you. Nothing seems to be happening over here.
Okay.
And then suddenly, near her, a piece of the earth starts to move, and a body begins to rise out of the earth, out of the grave, forming itself out of the very pieces of the earth. And soon you are looking at the somewhat dated, fine suit of Churchill Jackson, who looks at Mary, and you hear him very clearly through the night go, And who the fuck are you?
Okay.
To Mary. And Mary is now whispering something to him, but they're pretty far away. You stood back to get your shot.
They're talking.
They're talking. Yes, they're talking.
Oh God, is she going to try to redeem him?
Well, Mary then looks at you again, and Churchill goes, "Don't hide behind this creature, Curtis. Face me like a man." Mary looks at me waiting for your signal.
It's like, and I just like breathe in, breathe out, take the shot.
Well, that's a great time for me to reveal what Jen Brown noticed. Jen Brown, you critted on your on your yeah. On
I'm so surprised.
Oh. You noticed that someone was in a tree with a rifle themselves. In one of the trees in the cemetery, someone is set up with a rifle. You saw a shape that didn't quite make sense among the shapes of the leaves here in the darkness. And because of your crit, I will allow you, before Curtis takes the shot, to let him know. You can. We're gonna just zip back a second because I didn't know Curtis was about to do that. So you can let him know about that first if you like.
Yeah, I'm gonna shout, "Curtis, the tree!"
What? Okay.
Curtis, I'm not going to do double jeopardy here. Jen got critted her roll. She's able to exactly show you where the other sniper is.
Okay. Whip around.
Yeah, and so you move around to him instead. Oh, wow, this is amazing. And I think he was planning on shooting at Mary. So he's maybe caught a little off guard by the fact that someone just shouted behind him, a woman. Great. And so he's going to shoot at Mary. You're going to shoot at him. Jen, would you like to do anything this round?
I'm going to run to Mary.
Okay, great. And we'll see what Churchill and Mary decide to do. But here we go, Curtis. Go. Curtis, what is your dexterity plus firearms roll?
Critical success.
Yes!
7 successes.
Oh my God.
Curtis, because of Jen Brown's sharp eyes, you blast the sniper out of the tree before he gets a shot at Mary. And that's when Churchill's like, fuck! And
back to him.
Mary takes him by the shoulder and pushes him to his knees. And Churchill is now waiting for you. Mary, as we know, has a tremendous amount of potence and other weapons to bring to bear. So she now has her claws at and Jen Brown, you're there. You ran this round. You've run to Mary, and Churchill's like looking up at you. And Jen Brown, you catch sight of the grave because they're standing right there on the grave. And that grave reads Churchill Jackson, hardworking husband and father. And beside it, Layla Jackson, devoted wife and mother. Both died in 1976. But Curtis, I want to know what you want to do now. Do you want to go take a look at that sniper, or do you want to go talk to Churchill, Mary, and Jen, who are over by the grave?
It looks like they're under control. I want to do that thing where like the weapon is still on them, but I'm like scooting back to like take a look at who the sniper was to see if it's anyone I recognize.
It's no one you recognize, but
human.
It's human. Yeah, this isn't a kindred. An older man has fallen out of the tree. He's kind of struggling to get his balaclava off, and you see he's like an older African American man, and he looks like he might even be in his 60s, and he's kind of like bleeding out. And Curtis, I want you to just make a very quick intelligence plus awareness roll.
Okay. Intelligence. Oh, this is off for 2 successes.
Curtis, you notice that this guy has his own kit out, right? And he's dressed very dark, but he's got like a sticker on his rifle, and he's got like a little pin under his black jacket that show that he was probably a Vietnam War veteran, maybe an old friend of Churchill Jackson. Curtis, what would you like to do now? And Jen, if you'd like to do something, please let me know.
I disarm him. I take away his weapon.
He's bleeding out. He's
Okay.
Mary,
I talk.
No, go ahead.
Was he feeding you? Was he feeding you his blood?
No, Dracula. He wasn't feeding me. No. He spits out blood at you. Are you hungry, Curtis? Curtis, what's your hunger at right now?
It's 1.
Okay.
I'm still riding high on that urn juice, baby.
Yeah, you are.
So yeah, I just like take his. See me toss his gun away and just like take the spittle off my cheek and like.
Oh.
And I'm just like, son of a bitch, and like turn around and begin walking towards Churchill. It's like, so apparently your respect for the precious Masquerade only goes so far. We're just telling anybody what goes on.
I mean, the sheriff needs to know when to break the rules. Ty would never break the Masquerade, would you, Ty? No, sir, Church, says the old man from behind you.
Oh, it's a good thing to know that what makes a good leader is knowing when to break the rules. And I shoot him in the head.
We're firing already.
I shoot him in the head. Fuck it. I'm the guy who pushes people out of windows when I feel cornered. I'm done with this shit. I'm like, yeah, I shoot him right in the face.
Okay. Would you just tell me how much extra damage does your make your whole roll and do as much damage as you want, because it seemed like Churchill was about to say something and then you blew his head off.
I mean, part of me is guilty and doesn't want to hear it.
I'm just kind of letting you know.
I don't know, man. Okay, this is okay. Do the thing.
Do the thing to the thing, and make
I don't know that I've ever
roll.
rolled. Well,
I think you have. We can
damage on this firearm.
Yeah, I mean it's like a big handgun. It's like a big handgun.
Yeah.
So whatever you roll, we're gonna add 2 to the damage. We're gonna add 2. It's not a giant handgun. It's not like a 357 Magnum, is it? Or is it?
It's a Remington rifle. No.
Oh,
I'm sorry. It's not that big actually. It's a 38.
Okay, I'm gonna allow 2. I'm gonna add 2 to the damage. So how many successes did you roll on your point blank firearms roll, my friend?
Shockingly, I rolled another critical. 6
Whoa.
successes.
So the smoke clears, and Churchill just has like a little bit of like a kind of a nick in his forehead, and he's like, and that's when he's gonna say something to you. Because you had your turn to act, and now he's going to say his piece.
Yep.
He's going to say, you've made a very bad mistake here, Curtis. You know, these allies of yours, and he kind of gestures to Mary, are more dangerous than me, Adelaide, Sonia, and she's dangerous. You don't know the trouble you're in. And he is going to make a persuade roll. And if you want to continue to talk to him, he is attempting social combat with you right now.
Okay.
If you'd like to say something back to him or react in a certain way, I'll call for a roll from you. If you'd like to just fire again, that's valid too. You let me know.
You're telling me that my critical success just like pinged off his head and just left like a little indentation there?
Anybody else, it should have completely made their head explode. Your critical success just pinged off his forehead right now. That's what I'm telling you.
So yeah, I mean, I think I'll. Okay, he's trying to persuade me.
But you can fire again. You can fire again immediately, or you can talk. Yeah, he's trying to persuade you right now.
Okay.
Can I maybe turn to Mary and say, we need your help. This one cannot be redeemed. I don't know if we can do this, just me and Curtis. We need your help. This one cannot be redeemed.
He serves the demiurge.
Uh-oh.
That's what she's asking you. And yeah, as I'm sure Jen Brown would do, you're like, what does she mean by that?
Yeah.
She goes, are you certain redemption is a gift for all, isn't it, Jen Brown?
Oh, God damn it. My morality thrown back in my face.
I want to know what Curtis is doing first because he has a gun in his hand. And then if he doesn't fire, we are going to go into Curtis saying a line, Church saying a line, and Jen saying a line.
Oh, God.
What are you doing, Curtis?
Okay, yeah. It's like it might be dangerous, but at least I'm my own person now. Dad. I mean,
No.
Oh wow. Hey, so well role played, but I think I'm going to ask you for kind of a weaker dice pool of yours. Actually, you give me your resolve plus your I think intimidate.
yeah, that's nothing. So,
Yeah.
It's 1 actually.
Oh, God.
I think I got a point of intimidation for something earlier.
And then you got a point of resolve, at least 1 point, maybe 2, right? So you get
That's
to roll
2,
3
yeah.
dice, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
And sorry,
That's okay.
dice
Take your
roll is
time.
not being cooperative.
Don't worry about it.
3 successes.
Hey.
The dice is hot today, baby.
Okay.
I don't know if that's good.
You guys got equal successes, so no one is backing down yet. So it may be up to our friends. Mary says that to you, Jen Brown, and it is your turn to respond to her. This isn't social combat between you and her. I just want to know. It's time for you to decide. Are you giving her the kill order, or are you telling her? Are you letting her change your mind? Are you letting her kind of ask? She's asking you, aren't all creatures worthy of redemption?
Do you remember when we had to lay Erasmus low because he was trying to control us? This man, this kindred in front of you, has done nothing but try to control us.
Freedom. Her claws grow out of her fingers. She puts them to his neck. And at first, she's just scraping stone for a full round. And then suddenly, his neck gives and she rips open the side of his throat. Blood splashes out. And Churchill Jackson's like... And the die is cast. You've just assassinated the sheriff, God damn it, of the city.
I move over to him and just and get a little bit of that V-take. And then just with the two finger close his eyes and push him back into the grave.
Oh, well, yeah, that's
that
interesting. He didn't leave a hole. He kind of came out of the ground.
Ooh.
But that was so cool that what you just said that I'm going to rule that you kind of kick him into this sort of weird area where he turned up the earth. And so now this man has been laid so low. He's kind of laying in a pool of mud, and his vitae, his precious kindred vitae, is now mingling with the mud of the earth. And I'm going to go back to Miles Vanderbuck for a moment. Okay, here we go. Sorry, my producer was trying to bring Miles in, and I've suddenly been like, I can bring people in and out. I know how to use computers. Okay. Miles,
Man.
I can't imagine why you've decided to try to ghoul a man you just Oh my God, you're ghouling a man you just fed from. You're not ghouling. How much? Okay, no, you didn't drain him to 0.
No,
Okay.
I only wanted him to get him to a slight
Okay.
stupor. That's
Right,
all I wanted.
you only got him
Then
into
I
a
wanted
slight
to,
stupor. Okay,
Then I wanted
good.
to feed him my
That's
blood,
good news. Right.
my
Okay.
vitae,
Great.
and then
Mhm.
I want to turn the color of my demeanor on its head and immediately unpink myself and immediately intimidate and immediately turns out I do have some social abilities, immediately daunt with my presence
Yeah.
this cop and sort of say God, and sort of say,
If you don't do everything I tell you to do tonight, I am going to rip your head off from your body. You like the taste of this? Little boy, you like the taste of what's coming out of my wrist? Sure you do. Sure you do. And if you do anything I tell you not to do, it's curtains.
and like, fangs.
Great. I mean, normally for a daunt roll, you might roll your presence plus intimidation, but given that you've fully prepped this guy, you've prep cooked this guy for some presence, I feel like you've completely shattered his entire worldview in the space of a few minutes. So I think that this guy is going to, at least for right now, do whatever you tell him to do. And what are you telling him to do?
I say, okay, now first up, you're going to answer some questions. The girl, the woman, the CEO that they brought out of here, did they bring her out alive or dead?
She was dead.
Where'd they
Dead.
bring her to? What hospital?
They
What
went-
fucking hospital?
They knew she was dead. She was long dead. They took her to the medical examiners. I can take you there. Let me take you there. I'll take you.
Yeah, that's what you're going to do. You're going to take me there. You're going to go over there, get your squad car, and you're going to bring it right here, and I'm going to get in. You understand?
Absolutely. So you see him walk out in the alleyway, and someone's like, Carson, and he's like, I'm being called away. And then he kind of like walks off, and you're waiting. Woo! Squad car pulls up after about 4 minutes.
Great. I grab my katana because I have a katana now, which is great. Old man vampire samurai. I open up the door, the front door. Yeah. I'll ride shotgun with this guy and get in. I say, now drive.
He begins driving, and he's not going far. He tells you that the medical examiner's office is just not far away. And Miles, I think that you need to give me a rouse roll for that feeding of the ghoul to see if you get hungrier, because you fed on him, then you fed from him. So let's see, or no, you fed on him and then you fed him. So let's see how you do.
I'm feeding all kinds of little bits.
Blood in, blood out.
Blood out. Hey, it's money. Success.
Okay, great. You're not any hungrier. And finally, he pulls you up to this like kind of low slung brutalist building that's a couple blocks from the Allegheny River. And up a short flight of stairs, you can kind of enter the medical examiner of Allegheny County's offices.
Okay, great. How long is this katana? Is it a full-blown katana or one of those like short boys? I just want to know if it's there's no concealing it.
It's an auberger probably like puts on like a bathrobe and like practices, kempo in his like underwear. Yeah.
All right.
The guy you stole the car from.
Okay, great. I'm gonna turn to this cop and say, you're going to get me in there and you're going to show me the body and you're going to take this with you. And I hand him the katana.
I can't go in there with a weapon. I can't do that.
You're a goddamn police officer. Show some respect for yourself. You can do anything. You're powerful now. Don't you understand? I've given you the greatest gift you'll ever get.
I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand.
Just do what I tell you.
I'm sorry. You're going to need to roll again. The presence, it casts a spell for a little bit, but don't worry. I'm not going to double jeopardy you too much. He's not like running off and attacking you or anything. He's having a moment. He doesn't know if he can do it.
Fair enough. So what? I'm doing.
I want you to continue to daunt him with a presence plus intimidation roll.
As you wish, my friend. Ooh, 1 success.
Okay, follow me. Then he starts walking into the medical examiner's office. He goes inside, and of course, there's a small lobby with, kind of a security check-in desk. This cop has a little bit of blood from his lip.
I get pink. Hashtag get pink. I get pink.
Thank you. Give me the rouse roll.
Jesus,
and he is, he's kind of like, and he's holding the katana like this, and he goes, "This man is with me. I have to look at their bodies." And he shows his badge, and like the guy behind the security desk is like, and lets him through, and he's like, "Come on." And he enters.
Which where's this the well, I guess maybe he'll know. Ask him which way is this the bodies that were brought in from the steel building tonight.
I know where the morgue is. I know where the morgue is. Okay.
Okay.
Why am I holding a sword?
You're holding a sword because you're a good little boy, and you're gonna get a good treat at the end of this. Don't you worry.
He looks at you, and he like kind of looks like hungrily at you for a second. Soon you're walking past signs that say, beyond this point, please scrub up. There's a place where you can pull foot guards over your shoes, kind of sticking out of the wall. And there's a big heavy door, and he kind of knocks on it and waves to somebody inside. And that door opens, and you're looking into the morgue, like you may have seen on all of your favorite Pittsburgh cop shows. Pittsburgh PD, Pittsburgh Justice, Pittsburgh Blue.
Pittsburgh Gavison edition.
No, hey! Okay. There is a morgue attendant in there, and he's like wiping his brow, and you can see he is surrounded by bagged bodies. And he's kind of wiping his brow, and he's like, "Yes."
Which one? There was a body here that got brought in from the Pittsburgh Steel Building. There's a young woman, CEO of the company. I'm her dad. I'm her father.
The guy goes, This man is identifying the body.
And I go, good, and rub his back a little bit. Good.
I still need papers. Where's the auth?
Weren't you gonna show him outside? Because I thought we had the papers.
Right. Please come with me, sir. I'm not coming with you. Come with me now, sir. Let's roll some dice for these guys.
He's resisting arrest.
Let's see how this goes. That's for the cop. And this is for the morgue attendant.
My little puppets.
The cop just sort of grabs the morgue attendant by the shoulders and starts to push him out of the room. And the morgue attendant's like, "What the fuck? This is fucking unprecedented. You guys can't." And then the door shuts behind them, and you are alone.
I would have liked to have just quickly grabbed the katana out of his hand as he.
Oh, great! You have it.
Okay, good.
There are 10 bagged bodies in here.
I just start opening them up. I'm looking for Adelaide.
You open the first one, and you find a horribly exploded body. The only pieces of it you could see that are remaining have like some like pink fringe. It looks like there's like part of like a cowboy hat.
Are these the Gen Con players?
They are. You then find a man in it looks like he was once in a well-appointed suit, but he is completely covered in horrible burns. He's almost burnt to a
Jesus.
crisp in the top half.
Okay.
Oh, then there's a guy that is just filled with bullet holes. He looks like a fat biker guy. And then you open a body bag and you're staring at Adelaide Ross. Miles, Adelaide Ross, her beautiful, perfect smile, her perfect visage, the perfect facade she always kept up has been horribly marred. Her smile is broken. She's bruised. And a part of her head looks to have been mushed in. She is a corpse. And I can tell you that the blood bond is gone while she's in torpor like this. But I want to know how Miles reacts to this.
It's complicated. Because she owned him, she controlled him, but at the same time, she took care of him. In some ways, she reminds him not so much of his daughter, but of like a younger version of his wife when they were young and free. But he's angry at her. That's the thing. Because she did to him what all the powers that were lorded over him in his waking life, in his alive life, did to him for all those years. The union, the politicians, the medical insurance companies, all that stuff.
In fact, toward the end, he couldn't even be sure if the things that happened with her were real memories or memories she had put in his mind. Right?
That's true.
Because she would like replay entire scenes with him and recreate the memories that he had. I mean, this is the
do you think in this time, do you think in this moment, because the bond has been broken, that I can remember that one time that she like altered reality for me?
Oh yeah, I think that you now, like in this moment, suddenly all the memories come flooding back. And Miles, she didn't do it one time. She did it to you over and over again. She often, when you met her, was actually like almost like going like into a nervous breakdown, and then would just make you remember her being strong and sexy and powerful later. She would just alter the memory later because she didn't want you to see her weak. And all of these memories come flooding back. And Miles, it is so traumatic and awful. I want you to make a willpower roll. And I want you to get 2 successes.
My willpower is barely anything now. So I have 3 in the pool and 1 hunger. Let's see. You wanted how many successes?
I need 2 or something is going to happen.
Oh, okay.
I think you're going to react. You're going to frenzy if you don't make. And actually, you're a brouhaha. You're a brouhaha. That's why I actually, instead of extra successes, how many willpower do you have?
I had 3 and 1 hunger, and I got 2 successes, but I would happily fail this roll. This sounds cool.
Yeah, I think I did it wrong because you are a brouhaha, so you should have taken 2 off of that roll to resist a frenzy. And you got 2 successes, you said?
Yeah.
Look, I'm hand waving this. You're the player. You just said that you wanted to. And by the way, there's no hunger and willpower rolls. But regardless, look, we totally flubbed our willpower roll, but we want a frenzy, right?
Yeah, let's frenzy.
Then let's fucking frenzy. What happens? What happens in this moment?
He starts to shake. Everything that has happened, not only with him and Adelaide, but with everything in the union, in his life, with his wife's death, everything, it all comes back to him. And this is the moment that he takes control. And he takes the katana and just lops off her head. And if it doesn't go the first time, he keeps hacking at it. And every flick of the blade where he brings it back up, blood goes all over the wall. And he doesn't even notice that he's making just an absolute mess. Blood splattering everywhere until the head is off. And when it's off, he grabs it by the hair and says, "Now who's in control?" And then throws it in the corner and leaves.
Great. I want to quickly narrate his exit. What is he using the exit? Is he intimidating his way out? Is he sneaking out? How is he getting out?
Well, I think it depends what he first sees when he leaves the door. Is it like the officer and the more guy like scuffling, or is it a clear hallway with like one?
Oh, they're out there. They're out there like in it. Like, in fact, it looks like the cop is now like kind of letting go of the guy and sort of like kind of like helping him up and like apologizing. That guy's apologizing. It looks like he's sort of that altercation. Right. Yes. It's the end of your presence. So,
I bolt. There's no point in Miles sneaking around at this point.
Give me an intelligence plus athletics roll. It's going to make you find your quickest exit to just bolt.
Okay. Intelligence.
Wits plus athletics. Wits. You're like looking for a way out.
Got it. Hold on. Rolling her. Verfilm for this is a hunger one. And 2 successes.
Miles, you find that there is a back entrance to this kind of morgue room where like EMTs can just pull up and roll off the bodies so that they're not like, banging them up the front steps of the medical examiner's office. And that is the place you exit through. You kind of jump into the back of an ambulance and then crawl out of there and off into the night. And now
old dude covered in blood with his katana.
I'd like to bring back all of my players. Clint, can we bring back Curtis, please?
What? Everything has changed. Yes. Everything has changed so much.
I want to narrate 2 cliffhangers for our party.
2.
Two cliffhangers. The first is that an enormous force of anarchs like descends on the haven of Miss Sonia, the Nosferatu Primogen, in Polish Hill. Like, and they're like all in like, dark clothes. They're carrying guns and knives and stuff. They break into her home and it's completely dark except for a human man watching TV. Right? Oh. And they are like, "Where is Sonia Nowak? Where is Miss Sonia?" And he looks at them and he goes, "She asked me to have you tell you my story. The only thing I want to say is that you work hard your whole life." Jen, if you were there and you're not, you would recognize this as the father of the family that owns this house. You work hard your whole life to find a place for yourself, to build a house, to build a family. You put everything into it, like your dad did and your granddad did. Tradition. But I got kids. Shut the fuck up, man. The anarchs are like, "Fuck you, get him." And they've like got him by the arms. And he's like, "You got kids? They never appreciate it. That's the problem with the younger generation." "Oh shit, he's got a bomb!" Now that they've grabbed him, they see that his coat is open and he's got a bomb strapped to himself. He's like, "The younger generation, they never appreciate it." Sonia's house explodes.
It's army of 30 war zone.
The army of 30 anarchs you sent to it is possibly wiped out in a moment. The second cliffhanger I'd like to leave you with, it happens later. It's the next day. It's the day after Revolution Night. You can't see their faces in this shot I'm setting for you. You just see muscular bodies, one of whom is in like a state trooper uniform. Yes. And they're watching some security footage on a monitor of Miles Vanderbuck in a morgue bringing a sword down over and over onto a dead body. And they're like, "So that's him. Bring him in. Dead or, really dead." And that is the end of our session for today. Holy shit. What
Revolution
a ride
night.
it's been.
Viva la revolution! Yeah, what a night.
Man,
What
oh,
a
man.
night.
You guys killed it.
December. Oh my god.
Well, we killed 30 anarchs. We definitely did that.
We
Yeah.
really demonstrated great military leadership by sending a bunch of people off to get destroyed.
Well, let me just give you I don't like to give too much, but I'll give you a little bit into the storyteller strategy here. If you had chosen to go to Miss Sonia first, you would have met her there and you would have had a scene with her as you did with Churchill. If you had chosen to go to her second or later in the night, if you had all stayed together, for example, you may have met the man with the bomb. Instead, you sent some vampires to go see her instead. The Churchill scene also could have happened a couple different ways. And if Miles hadn't immediately gone to Adelaide's body, well, then he would have met the gentlemen who were watching him on the security camera later. So a lot depended on the timing of Revolution Night. I think some objectives were met, but
Sure.
damn, guys. Damn.
What are we gonna do? Are we really gonna lead this?
Revolutions are
vampire
messy,
power?
right?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
I think there's a saying like revolutions don't ever eat their children. I think that's how it goes.
Guys, it's
I'm
no
nervous
problem.
of the responsibility.
Yeah.
You just have to lead the revolution without the Anarch army, who you sent 30 of them to a house. Now, I don't
Which
think
is
that
over
all of them went
50%.
in. Right. I don't think all of them went in, but I think that who's left is going to be a lot less.
And probably not psyched.
About
And
that.
probably not super happy with your leadership.
They're going to be a little bummed, is my
They're going to
guess.
be a little bummed. You sent
it
that
not-
very zealous Nosferatu woman there. Yeah.
Not to ask for a handout, but just because so much has happened just recently and the past time it happened, will we be able to like update our characters in some way? Because I feel like we're like level 2 revolutionary leaders, which is scary.
So,
it's a bit scary.
That's a great question. So this week on Vampires of Pittsburgh, we're going to run an epilogue to our 20 episode saga that we've had so far. And that means we're just going to take a little bit of a breather. I know that the situation doesn't quite call for one, but we're going to do just a little bit of like downtime management of the revolutionary movement. You guys can make some strategic decisions.
Some personal story issues. I mean, you know, we have
exactly.
wants in life.
And then we are going to level you up, and we are going to jump forward in time a little bit in the episode after that. And you're going to be the leaders of an Anarch movement in Pittsburgh, and you're going to have to deal with the Camarilla fighting back and whoever these cops are and everything else that's in the offing. So Miss Sonia's still out there somewhere.
Sure, yeah.
It's so much responsibility. I like it better when we were just given tasks and then this is so
you could have kept doing that.
Yeah, I was down.
You know what I just remembered though is that Jen pinged what she thinks is a group of vampire hunters.
Yep, they're out there as well.
So we could try to enlist some pretty sketchy bedfellows.
Whoa, Daddy.
You know what, Jen? I can't see any way that could possibly go wrong for Jen Brown. Vampire hunters work with vampires very well.
Yeah. I'm really just trying to be Blade. That's all I'm really trying to do.
I mean, I think it's kind of an incredible idea, and
I'm almost there. I've got the sword.
I want to thank my players, Thomas Middleditch, Ashley Birch, and Ross Bryant for joining me again tonight. They're incredible. Follow them on all social media stream type things. I'm going to do my end of the show business, but guys, thanks again for making this such a special Gen Con game. I love you all.
What a blast.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Wow, that was intense. I'm going to keep here for a little bit. If anybody has a comment or a question, I think I think since we're streaming through the Gen Con site, my producer can send any questions or comments through to me. But I have ended the show business that I always do. Please get on our socials. We are on twitch.tv /stream of blood. Follow us on there so you can catch every episode every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific. Please keep up with our schedule and find out about all the cool things we have planned. Vampires of Pittsburgh is only one of our streams. We have an ongoing Call of Cthulhu stream that happens every Sunday. It's set in the 19th century, and it's based on the great horror novels of the 19th century and the adventure novels of the 19th century. It's called the Neptune Society. That happens every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific. We're on Instagram and on Twitter at _streamofblood_. If you follow those, you're going to know when we're doing extra games. We do extra games all the time. We've teamed up with the Glass Cannon Network to play Blades in the Dark, an incredible Powered by the Apocalypse game by John Harper. We've had 2 sessions of that, and it truly is an insanely good game, and it gives me ideas that I bring into other games. Check out those videos on YouTube, and then follow our socials. Again, _streamofblood_ on Instagram and Twitter to know when we're doing extra games like that. We're on Reddit at r/streamofblood, and please definitely join our Facebook group. That's where I have a little bit more of a conversation with people, and they can tell me ideas they have for scenarios to put into Vampire and into the Cthulhu game, and I take those suggestions. Our next Cthulhu game will involve elements that were suggested by a viewer, who had excellent ideas and was like a historian and had a really cool take on a Neptune Society game. Guys, we have an all-new show that's debuting this Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific. It's an all-female cast of comedians who don't play tabletop role-playing games. For 2 of them, this will be their second time playing tabletop role-playing games. The other one is my wife, who I've had play tabletop maybe a handful of times. It is a mystery horror show where they play a trio of female ghost hunters in the 1920s using the Call of Cthulhu 7th edition rules system. And they have titled the show Coven of Bitches. Coven of Bitches, their title, not mine. This is going to be complete chaos. If you think Vampire is chaos, wait till I play with these girls. They're so incredibly funny. If you want to look up their comedy, it's Kara Klenk, Lisa Traeger, and Megan Gailey. And they will be portraying these, early 20th century ghost hunters in the 1920s, running around Arkham in a Model T Ford, looking into the various hauntings that are happening in Lovecraft country. That's 6 p.m. Pacific on Tuesday, August 4th, 9 p.m. Eastern. Guys, our title card illustration is by Will Pottorff. See more of his work at willpottorff.com. That's Pottorff. And Ross Bryant does a lot of our in-game artwork. Ross Bryant is the man you saw portray Curtis Krieger tonight. You can see more of his stuff on Instagram at RossBB. Our theme music is Get Pink by Axel Kazis Taylor. And we'd like to give a special thanks to the people that help us do our promotions: Megan Arch, Sophia Otero, Sarah Carr, and Garrett Ross for their hard work on logos, graphic design, promotion, and all that. They make us look good, and that, without that stuff, you really don't have a stream. Nobody knows that you're doing it. I am hanging out for just a second longer. I think we have to stop in a second. Glass Cannon will be back on this channel at 9 p.m. You guys have got to check out Troy LaValle and the Glass Cannon folks, because man, they're so good at what they do. They're so much better at this than I am, and I love watching them, and they're funny, and they make gaming feel fun while you're watching them. So, okay, it looks like we can't do questions tonight, but just know that anytime you watch the stream, on our channel, we will kind of hang out for questions. If you have a question or a comment about the show you just saw, hit us up on that Facebook group, Stream of Blood. I'm going to bid you adieu. Until next time. Oh, thank you, Gen Con. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Eric, and everybody that helped us be part of Gen Con this year. It means a hell of a lot to us, and we had such a good time tonight. All right, that's it. #GetPink. Bye-bye.